Hi wig fans, today I'm bringing you my latest wiggy finds. It's nice to be back doing another video. I've just gotten over a horrible chest infection, so I'm still recuperating from that, but I'm doing a lot better now. So I wanted to take some time just to look through the newest wigs that I've bought. I've redone my own hair at the moment, which has gone kind of like a goldy browny shade. All I did was I stripped it a little bit to try and remove some of the darkness on it. Sometimes that can leave it to go a bit orange, but fortunately it didn't this time, which I'm quite lucky about. So I'm just going to pop my hair back. So the first wig that I've got to show you today is from my favourite Shein place. They've started doing a range of decent quality human hair wigs, so I wanted to try a couple of them out. So it does say it comes in this box, which is quality hair marketplace selected by Shein, and it does say real hair, real you. They come in these bright pink boxes here. This one didn't come with much, it just came with a wig cap. Some of them do have more accessories and a lot of bump in there. Basically it just tells you a little bit about the human hair wigs. As you probably know from previous wig videos, I do generally prefer synthetic hair. Reason being that it tends to stay more in place than human hair wigs. Human hair, like our own hair, tends to give you bad hair days some days, whereas synthetic holds its shape. But I do like to have the odd human hair wig. I have sold some of mine. I sold the rainbow one, and I sold, I think it was the blue one that I'd pre-dyed myself, just because I wasn't getting the wear out of them and there didn't seem any point in keeping them if they were just going to sit in the boxes. This one that I got from Shein, when I saw it on the picture, which I will show you in a minute, it was a really vibrant orange. And the one thing that I was worried about was when it turned up, it wouldn't look like the picture and it would actually be quite a more of a gingery tone. However, that was not the case. It did stick to the orange, and here it is in all of its glory. And in the sun, it really shines. So it's made out of quality 100% human hair. It's obviously been pre-dyed. It's got a full lace part, so it goes all the way down, and it's ear to ear lace, which I think is great. It has all the combs already installed, so you've got a comb either side of the wig, and there's also one in the middle to hold it on. And if you look at the back, it does have a lace back as well to make it look more realistic if you wanted to wear it up. And on top of that, it has got a security band in it as well, which is an extra thick one, as well as the regular bands. So I was really impressed with how much effort had gone into it. It isn't really thick, but I wouldn't say it's ridiculously thin that it doesn't look realistic either. And I think the fact that they've got the thickness right on it kind of makes it comfortable to wear. Human hair wigs are always a little bit thinner at the end, but then so's human hair when you wear it. You know, your own hair isn't thick at the ends, and so I think that probably just adds to it. But the way I secure it in this case is I've got the security band on. I've put it on the loosest setting. It is stretchy, so you can literally just push it into place on the back of your head, which looks a bit weird to start with. But then you have to sort of get the bulk of the wig, which would usually be sitting on your hair, and make sure you push it back and not forget and leave it hanging. And then you just slide it into place. Now, I did go out in this the other night. I have cut the lace and I found it incredibly comfortable. I wore it all evening with no issues and no itching. The lace front is really good, and it does have sort of little baby hairs at the front as well. They were already into the wig, although mine have been cut slightly because of the shape of my head. I've got a little bit of a widow's peak. I did have to cut the lace a little bit shorter to make it look more natural. But you can see when it's on that it does look just like my own hair would if it was this colour. And I have dyed it this shade before. As I say, in the sun it's incredibly beautiful. You could, if you wanted, trim the ends a little bit because it is sort of in that sort of shape that comes down. So if you didn't want it, you wanted it more even, you could just cut those ends there. But I kind of like the style of it, and so I'm leaving it as is. And the price of this wig was £34, which for a human hair wig is incredibly cheap. There's lace fronts out there that cost more than this, and so it is a really good way of getting human hair wigs cheap that look natural, and if you do have hair loss, will give you that sort of look that you want, that makes it look like you are wearing your own hair. No one even questioned it wasn't my hair, even with the part. which, as I say, is lace, but because it's very close to the scalp, you could pluck it to make it look more realistic if you wanted. I have a thin part anyway, so I don't really see the point, and I also don't want to take away too much hair and expose more of the cap. But if you're more comfortable with plucking them, obviously adding more baby hairs in, razoring around the front, the options are all there for you. So that one I was really impressed with. I didn't even secure it with the wig combs when I put this on, but you could do that, and as I say, you do have the original security band as an extra layer of protection. Second one I got, also from Shein, is another human hair wig. I'm going to be cutting the lace on this and showing it you as I wear it, because I've not tried it on yet. So same box that it comes in. This one came with a free band, which is quite nice. I don't know quite what the band's supposed to be. I don't know whether it's supposed to be a wig grip band, or if it's supposed to be the one which you use to lay the glue down and then hold it against it to keep the glue flat so that the hairs lay flat. I'd seen that on quite a few videos, but either way, it's kind of cool. You could even use it for a head. The style of this one is kind of like a little flicky retro bob. So inside you've got the same quality. The lace on this goes a lot further back. This is like a half head lace rather than just the part, which I think is really nice. The band in this is actually better quality as well. It's still got the same security band as the other one, but it's got additional silicone on there to keep it in place. And also at the back, although it doesn't have a separate grip, this is all grippy as well to keep it in place. There's no additional lace at the back of this wig and no combs, but I'm guessing that's why you've got the security band to keep it in place. And as I said with the other one, when you've got one of these, you don't really need it anyway. So we're going to do the same thing. I do find when they do have this band, it does take a little bit more to get them in place, because you have to get the band in place and then get the wig in place as well to get it to look right. And sometimes it can fold up. But it's generally usually worth the faffing. Now this has got a side part on it, which I knew it had when I got it. The good thing is the lace is quite invisible on it, so I can pull the lace quite a long way back. You could change the part by just moving the wig over if you wanted to, but it is meant to be a side part, and so I'm leaving it where it is. Now I would say that I'm going to have to cut this lace back a little bit further, just because it's very obvious lace there. But the style of the wig itself is really pretty and I really like it. Again, it's not too thick, but I wouldn't say it was ridiculously thin either. Whether it holds these curls, I don't know. I'm probably going to say no. I think that's probably been styled that way, and I think that they'll drop out eventually. Obviously you can recurl it as human hair, but I don't see them staying in properly, if I'm honest. I think it'll probably come out with time. I think around this bit here it's probably worth, and I think this is why the lace has been left as long as it is, so you can cut the baby hairs in if you want to. That's something that I could look at doing. So there is a little bit of work needed to make this one look a little less wig-like, but even so I still really like it. The price on this one was £37, so again very reasonable for human hair. It's very dark, so it's sort of black hair, which I really like as well. I like the colour and I really do like the style. It'd take a little bit of getting used to that band, and you could wear it without the band if you wanted to. You can fold the bands in, or it's detachable, and then you could wear it without and add combs in if you prefer. So it does give you the options, which I think is quite nice. But overall I quite like the wig. There's 4 from Shein, so there's another 2 that are Shein wigs. This is one on the website that really caught my eye. It's a very bright pink. I've got one similar that I got in a shorter style that I got from Lulabelle's quite some time ago, and I really like it, and so I wanted one in a slightly longer style, although looking at this it might actually be too long. It is a lace front, so for now I'm just going to tuck the lace under. Now this is classed as a 3-part wig, which means the parting can be moved. It doesn't have to stay in the middle. On a lot of the wigs the part is in the middle, and that's that. You can't move it unless you slightly alter the wig. but on this one you can. So I do like the colour on this one. I generally prefer wigs with roots though, so I'm not sure whether or not I will keep it. If I do, I will probably trim it as well, because it comes all the way down to way past my boobs, and I prefer them sort of boob length, so I would probably take maybe 2 inches off it, something like that. Might even be 3. But it's very nice quality. It is a little bit staticky at the moment, but again, that's probably because it's just come out of the bag. Comes with all the stuff and silicone that they coat them in to keep them nice during transit, which is why a lot of the time people will wash them before they wear them. But of course, you want to see if you like the wig before you do that, just in case. I do find that the prices though are really reasonable. With my Shein discount points and everything else, it works out to less than £10. This is the last one I got from Shein. This wasn't what I expected when it arrived. It does say on their website that colours can vary. I understand that. But the pictures of it on the website showed it as a very corally orangey red. But when it arrived, it's a very red. Still a nice wig. I mean, it's got really lovely waves to it, and it does have dark roots in it, but it isn't what I thought it would be. The lace itself and the wig is actually really nice. So when that lace is cut, you're not going to see that lace at all, and it does seem to have built-in baby hairs that can be trimmed. I do like the gentle waves in it, and in the light it does shine a lot redder, which is quite pretty. And so I will keep this one because I do like it, even though it wasn't the red it was supposed to be. But I will make a point when I review it of letting them know that it didn't have the red shade that they claimed it did. I do like these incredibly realistic hairs that fall at the front though. I think that makes a big difference to the wig, because it does give it more of a natural look. And when the lace is cut and they're where they should sit, I think you will sort of recognise it more as a realistic red. It does have a bit of a shine to it, which will probably come out a little bit once I've washed it. But the other thing is that when you dye your hair a brighter red, it does have like a shine to it anyway. And so I don't think you'd probably pay it much mind. I also got this one. Now this one I bought off an individual. It came pre-styled because the person has used it for Black Widow. She did say that it would need a bit of restyling, which is fine because they were very honest about that, and so I knew where I stood with the wig when I bought it. So that's the actual wig without. I think before I try this on to show you, I really need to give it a wash first so that I can get it into the style it should be in. You may have noticed the change of clothes and makeup because I needed to continue this video another day, as I got caught up in doing other things and didn't get a chance to get back to this. But what we were looking at was this wig here. Unfortunately, some of the plait texture didn't come out. I don't think I had the water hot enough when I washed it, but I can fix that with a pair of straighteners. But I'm just going to put the wig on so that you can see what it looks like. So it's from Wigs Fashion, which is quite a popular wig company. They are quite expensive, but they are nice wigs. They retail maybe around about... They start off in, they have got a UK website, but they're roughly about £60. But there's sometimes, there's 2 websites. There's one where it's in dollars and one where it's in pounds. The pounds ones are about £60, £70, depending on the wig. Most of them are lace fronts. And you really can't fault the quality of the wigs. They are really, really good. So you can see here that what we've got is a split coloured wig. So it starts off in that lovely ginger colour and then fades into this blonde at the end, which I think is why it worked out to be really good for the costume that the lady wanted it for. But you can see this kink still here that needs fixing. I do like the wig itself. It's really nice colour, and I like that it's got what they call a free part. So you see here the parting isn't just set in the middle, so that you can move it around if you wanted to. Still needs a little bit of work, but I wanted to show it to you so that you got a gist of what the wig looked like. I got this one a while ago, but it hasn't made it to any of the videos yet because I think I hadn't got a video ready by the time it came. This I got off a second-hand site, and it was described as a holographic Elsa wig. Obviously it isn't actually an Elsa wig, but I'm guessing that's what somebody has used it for. And it starts off in this really nice light blue and it fades into these greens and yellows. So it's a bit like the Aurora Borealis. It's a beautiful wig and it is a lace front as well. So it's a nice quality one. It needed a bit of a wash when it came. It wasn't in great condition. It was sold cheap because of that as well. And I can see what they mean. You could quite easily use it for an alternative Elsa wig if you wanted. It's very sort of ice princessy colour, and that's what drew me to it. I like the fact that it fades into the other colours. It's really pretty, especially at the ends. I wish that the colours came up a little bit higher to see them a bit better, but other than that, it's a little bit dry on the ends, so I'll probably just need to snip the ends a little bit. I don't think I'll need to take much off, maybe 1/2 centimetre, just to sort of get rid of that dryness, which is quite common when you've had a wig a while. You tend to find that the ends get dry. You can use a spray such as this, which I've got, which is the Dimples Fibre Oil Conditioner. It is specially for synthetic hair, and you can just spray that in the ends. It also works as a detangler, but it instantly makes it look better and nicer quality. So, and it does actually keep it nice then. Once it dries, it smooths all the fibres out. So that's sort of a quick fix, but over time you do have to sort of trim them. Another way to do it is to thin the wig out a little bit. So use the thinning shears to take out some of the damaged parts without losing a lot of the hair. I'll probably do a video on that at some point if people are wanting to see it. But you can see why I like the wig. It's very pretty. This was another one I got, again from a second-hand site. And this is a red wig and it's got darker roots. It did say on the website that it's a blend of human hair and synthetic. Turns out that the brand is one of the Cookness wigs, which I've heard of before. And it does say that it's 100% human hair blended. So that means that it has a percentage of human hair in with the fibre wig to make it look more natural. And you can actually tell when you look at the hair. I don't know whether you can tell yourselves, but it does look slightly more human as compared to a normal synthetic wig. I've been wanting to try this brand for a while. I didn't realise that this wig was actually one of the Cookness ones. There's a lot of them always for sale and they always look really nice quality, but they are usually quite expensive as well. So these sort of wigs usually sell for around £70 because they are human hair blended. The feel of it, you can tell that it's got human hair in it because it feels more like normal hair, and I think that's the advantage. But also the reason people pick human hair blended is, one, it's a bit cheaper because it's not full human hair, and the other reason is because it holds its style better. When you have human hair, and I know I've talked about this before, so apologies if it's boring, but when you have a human hair wig, they tend to get messed up very easily, just like normal hair. It can be uncontrollable. When you've got a fibre wig, it stays in shape. So having that combination of the both gives you a more realistic look, so it looks like actual hair, but you also find that it stays in shape. Now, the ends on this are very, very dry. I'm guessing it needs a bit of TLC. I'm thinking it's probably been straightened and curled quite a few times on quite high heat. Now, because it does have human hair in it, that's quite easy to reverse. You can use the sprays that you would use on the synthetic, like I said, but also what you can do is you can use a little bit of human hair conditioner. I could always snip them off. It's only this portion here at the very end, so I could probably take off about maybe 1 inch or 2, and it would still have quite a lot of length to it, and it would just take those dry bits off. I do advise that when you do use heat on your wigs, even if they are high heat ones, to try and keep the heat to a minimum where you can, because it does preserve the wig and make it last longer. It's nice to be able to style them with a bit of heat, but I don't think some people realise that you don't necessarily have to use really high heat. As long as you put it into the shape you want it to go in. For example, if you're curling it, curl it around your finger and then hold it, it will keep the shape. This is another pre-loved purchase I got, and this is the Main Concept brand, which I've had quite a lot of before. I really do like the Main Concept ones. They tend to be quite good quality. This one is called Heidi, but spelled with a Y, and the shade is SR Honey Brown. So that's the packet it came in. The lace was all the lace hasn't even been cut on this one, although the person has bought it. They didn't like the colour, and so they hadn't even cut the lace. So that'll be a job for me to do. The thing about main concept wigs is the lace is very thin, which is great because it does make them look more realistic. See, when I put it on my head, even though the lace is there, you can hardly see it. I mean, I will cut it, but I'm just putting it on to show. But the style's beautiful. It's kind of like a bob, but a wavy bob. And you can see that it mixes into the two colours. So you've got that lovely honey sort of highlight through it, but then you've got all the dark brown as well. And the lace is very easy to cut on this, but you can see how transparent it is there. So it's really nice quality. I like this one. And they just have a little lace part, so it's usually, I think they call it a T part when it's along that bit, but it's enough to give it the dimension. And because their parts are quite deep, they do look incredibly realistic without having to use a lot of lace. Obviously that keeps the price of the wigs down a little bit. You can expect to pay somewhere in the region of about £70 for a main concept wig. Obviously if you get it pre-loved like I do, then it costs a lot less. And this last one that we have today, this is from a lovely lady who has her own company called Hair Teas. She can be found on Facebook, and I believe she does have a Facebook page as well. This is one of her wigs. Now she always does really high quality wigs. They're always lace, and this is the one that I've got. Now this was slightly cheaper than they would usually be because this was one of the sample ones that she had. Because it was a sample, I got it a little bit cheaper. I think it was about £45, which for the quality of the wig, because it's really high quality fibre on Hair Teas. It's your standard cap. So you've got the lace around the front. Again, it's T-part, so it goes to the part there. It is quite a nice deep part by the looks of it. Lace is fairly light as well, which I like because obviously being pale. And this already has existing baby hairs. So if you look at the front, when we say baby hairs, we mean the bits that grow out of your hair here. Like, see, this is my natural hair. That's baby hair. And that's natural. It's hair that's growing, but it's shorter than the rest because it's new hair. And this wig has got this already built in. A lot of people will cut hairs into their wigs to mimic this so it looks more realistic. This actually comes with it. You have to be careful when you're cutting the lace though, because sometimes you accidentally cut them off if you're not careful, because it's tempting to go as high as you can on the lace. What some people do is they tend to do what they call a hair melt. So they'll get the hair glue and they get a hairband and they will put down the lace and then they'll glue the lace down and then hold it in place with a hairband. And then some people like to glue down these baby hairs as well, which I don't think is a good look for me because I wouldn't do it normally on my own hair. So I don't see the point of doing it on a wig. So I just keep the baby hair in like that and just let it hang loose. Sometimes I thin it out a little bit if I think there's too much of it. So like, for example, I might just keep that bit there so it looks a little bit more natural. I've not decided on this one yet, but you can see the quality is beautiful. It's poker straight, which I really like, and it just has that little bit of a face framing highlight at the front. But I do like wigs that are really, really straight because my natural hair has got a kink to it when I don't straighten it. And so because of that, I can't always keep it poker straight like this. So it's nice to have it in a wig. You can tell just running your hands through it that it's a nice fibre and that it isn't going to tangle a lot. It is always a good idea when you first get these wigs just to put a bit of spray through it. The reason being that when wigs come to the person from the original manufacturers and then to whoever they get sold to, they use quite a lot of silicone to keep them nice and straight. And because of that, it can make them a little bit staticky, whereas this spray tends to remove all that. So you don't feel like the wig's loaded up with static. Obviously you can wash it as well. But yeah, I will be cutting that lace, but that's what it looks like. You see it's really nice quality. It is longer than I would usually wear my hair. It comes down to just past boob length, but I don't think I will cut it. Usually I sort of snip them, but I like the length of this, and it's nice to have something alternative for a change. And I like occasionally to have my hair a little bit longer, so I will leave it like that, I think. Obviously when I wear it properly, I would get all this cut and then you wouldn't see it. At the moment you can see the lace because it's rooking up, because it needs to be cut off. I do like the fact that although there is a lot of lace there, again it is very thin. so you can keep it quite close to the head and you won't really see it. It will blend really well. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my latest collection of wigs and the ones that I've purchased. I do sell quite a few of my wigs. You can find them on Vinted under my username FireRayne, which is FireRayne. So if you do think that I might have something that you're interested in purchasing and you're in the UK, pop over there and grab a bargain. I also do bundles of them onto eBay sometimes. Username is the same, FireRayne, so you can look me up on there as well. And you've probably seen the wigs reviewed in the first place so that you know what they look like. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to see more content from me. I will be bringing you a new wig video soon. Until then, take care and have a great day.